The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Everyone settle down quickly. Just 1 minute, everyone. Okay, we will start now. In 2 minutes, we will start. Just hold on, everyone. So, everyone online who has connected, am I audible? Okay, I will just unmute all of you. Unmute all participants. Am I audible, everyone online?
Yes.
Someone?
Yes.
Thank you for
That's all.
Okay, you can be on mute. If any one of you not able to hear, please reconnect quickly. Okay, so we could start in a minute. Okay, yesterday's session, we were discussing about framework application and implementation application. We were discussing about framework application. We have discussed few points about what is an application and the types of applications and the purpose of each of the type of application. Like what is the purpose of framework application and what is the purpose of implementation application, and what are the advantages if you are going to create your application like a framework as well as implementation structure. See, మీరు మధ్యలో కూర్చోండి కనబడకపోతే. You can sit in center if you okay. And if you are going to create one application alone, like only implementation you create, your business execution will be done without any issues. But there will be disadvantages if you are going to have only one standalone application without framework. That is what advantages of having framework. See, framework application is the one which is going to maintain to have all the common functionalities which are required throughout the entire business. So throughout entire business, all the common functionalities we can place in framework, and any specific business requirements, business functionalities related to the specific line of business processing can be placed in the implementation applications. Suppose you take an insurance policy processing system. Core insurance is framework, whereas home insurance and auto insurance is these two are like implementations. In this case, the functionalities that are very specific to auto insurance, we create in auto insurance implementation application, and the functionalities which are common across both insurances, either home insurance or auto insurance, we create in the insurance framework. So like this, your application has to be created to have framework and implementation structure, where framework is going to have common functionalities and implementation is going to have specific functionalities. And the advantage of having framework and implementation application structure, what is the advantage? First advantage is reusability. It is reusable. The functionalities that you create in framework application can be accessed everywhere throughout all implementations. Suppose in a framework, on top of a framework, if I have 10 implementations, one functional feature that you create in framework can be accessed into all 10 implementations. And one more advantage is, one is reusability. Easy to maintain. Easy to maintain means if I wanted to modify the functional feature, at one place if I modify, that will reflect everywhere else. Okay, easy to maintain. And the other one is reusability, and you don't need to do the tasks redundantly, means don't need to do the same task again and again, because you are placing it in a common place. Okay, you're going to position it in a common place. These are the advantages of creating framework and framework application over creating only one implementation. And anytime when you wanted to create an application in Pega using PRPC, if you want to create application, Pega provides a wizard that is called new application wizard. What is the wizard name? New application wizard. So we can make use of new application wizard and create new application. We can make use of new application wizard and create a new application with just navigations. One by one navigations you are going to proceed through. And when you are going to deal with creating new application, there are some parameters that we need to bother about. Anytime when you are creating an application, application should have a name, correct? Application should have a name. There should be some name to be given to the application. And apart from application name, you also have to deal with application structure. Application structure, meaning that application type. What are the types of applications? Framework application and implementation. So at the time of creating a new application, you should be giving the name of the application and you should be choosing the type of application. And there is one more parameter, important one, that is called organization name. See, as of now, I did not explain anything about organization. I will tell you just a high level. And in tomorrow's session, or maybe today after this practical is done, we can think about, we can look into what is organization structure in detail. Okay, I'll tell you in a few minutes what is that. Apart from all these three, application name, the type of application, and organization name, these three I have chosen. Apart from these three, you also have to deal with the login ID that you are going to use in order to log into your application. If you have any application, how do you access the application functional features? By login to the application. If you want to log into application, you need a login ID, right? So you need to deal with creating operator ID, comma, generate. System will generate a password. I will show you all of this. But let me explain you these two just a high level for now. In the yesterday document itself, you have the details about operator ID. See, this is the PRPC environment which we have installed. I think I have to start our server 8.7. This is the previous batch which is running. They are working with 8.6. So I have to shut down that 8.6 and explain you with 8.7. So I'll wait till this. By the time this is going to shut down and I bring up the 8.7, let me explain you about organization, just organization, high level. So in general, what is meant by organization? You might have heard about this word so many times, right? So what is the meaning of organization? What do you think about organization? What is it in general terminology? Organization is a business entity. It can be like a, you can define it more generically like a business entity. Organization is a business entity. I will tell you some of the business entity names. Out of this, which one is an organization? You need to tell me. Okay. So the business entity names I am going to write here. One of the business entity is Tata Steel and TCS, Tata Motors and Tata Group. Out of all these, which one do you think is an organization if you are aware of Indian companies? Tata Group. See here, out of all these four, Tata Group is a entity. Under this Tata Group of companies, you have Tata Steel, Tata Consultancy Services, Tata Motors, maybe additionally Tata Consumer, Tata Electronics, and Tata Insurances. Like this, there are so many different business entities are there. But the topmost business entity is the one which is being called as organization. Organization is what? Organization is the topmost business entity. Everyone clear? Makes sense? So what is organization? Organization is topmost business entity. The topmost business entity in any business setup is called as organization. Okay. And that is just a high level information. I'll talk about the divisions and units later. After our practical is done, we can discuss about it. Okay. I have issues. I told you, right? There will be some issues that you will be facing with servers. So if it doesn't come up, I'll do this. Hold on. Many times you would be facing issue shutting down the server and starting up the server. I'll bring up, in the meantime, I'll bring up 8.7. So what are the default credentials that we would be using in order to log into PRPC? In order to log into PRPC, we have default credentials. Administrator@pega.com. What are those? See, the login ID, it is not case sensitive. It can be upper, lower case, anything. But password is install. This is case sensitive. This is case sensitive. Make sense, everyone clear? So administrator@pega.com and password is install. Make sense, everyone clear? So this is case sensitive. Password is. See, anytime if you are going to install PRPC home version or even enterprise version, the default credentials are same. See, usually we call this as login ID and password. That is a generic terminology. But there is a specific terminology that we use while you are dealing with PRPC. Pega. So the terminology, the login ID, we call it as operator ID. What do you call it? Operator ID. It is just a high level. I am going to tell you in general, in the reality, how we can easily understand. That is, operator ID is the login ID which we use in order to log into PRPC environment to access its respective applications. So operator ID is the login ID which we use to log into PRPC to access its functional features and everything. And there is another term called operator. What is another term? Operator ID and operator. Operator means the person who log into PRPC to access its applications. Understand? Operator is a person who log into PRPC to access its application. Operator ID means a login ID which we use in order to log into PRPC to access its applications. Understand everyone clear? It is just a general thing. Okay, technically if I have to tell you about operator ID, let's say operator ID definition if I have to tell you, operator ID is instance of class data admin operator ID which can be used which will have an access group reference and application reference access roles. So this is a technical definition. You will not be able to understand now. Let's talk about technical definitions later. Just let's understand in reality what is an operator, what is an operator ID. Operator ID is the login ID which we use to log into PRPC to access its application. It will have a password associated. And operator is the human or the person who is going to log into PRPC to access its applications. Understand? Make sense? Okay, so that is about operator ID and this one. Let me see if the server is up and running or not. Let me log in now. Okay, now what are the default operator? What is the default operator ID? Administrator@pega.com. See, whenever you use a login ID and password, definitely you will be able to get into some application, correct? See, if you're going to use your Gmail ID and password, it will take you into Gmail application. Similarly, if you are using Facebook ID and password, it will take you into Facebook application. Similarly, when we use the default credentials, administrator@pega.com and password install, process command will take you into PRPC environment to an application called, you can see here on the right top. What is the application name? Pega platform. Let's go back to yesterday's session. So in the yesterday's session, we discussed about application is the one which will have functionalities, right? All the functionalities will be there inside some application, correct? Now, after that, I told you, okay, not after that, application is the one which will have all the functionalities inside it. And again, after that, I told you, Pega rules process command and environment is going to have some predefined functionalities, ready-made available, ready-made functionalities. I'll tell you about one, the technical terminology here. What did you understand by this term ready-made functionalities means? Ready-made functionalities. What did you understand by this term? It is already developed, inbuilt, provided. The terminology ready-made means inbuilt. Inbuilt means already it is there inside. Or you may say it like predefined. Any of these three terms if I am using, ready-made or inbuilt or predefined, which means that all are already there in the system. Pega PRPC, when you purchase, when you install, functionalities are already there inside. I shown you yesterday send email functionality, right? I'll show you once again. See here. This is one functional component. This is one functional component that is ready-made available in Pega. Anytime if you wanted to implement any functional feature of sending email notification to the to the customers from your application, you don't need to write code. You just call this functional component by its name and pass the parameters of to whom you want to send email and from subject message. Remaining parameters if you pass, it will send email automatically. Okay, and this is about the predefined functional components are already present inside PRPC. And we discussed the functional components will be there inside application, which means that PRPC also should have an application which is going to contain or hold all these functional components, right? So the name of the application is Pega platform. So whenever you use the credentials, whenever you are going to use the credentials, administrator@pega.com and password is install. The process commander will take you to one inbuilt application. What is the name of the inbuilt application? Pega platform. The name of the inbuilt application is Pega platform. This Pega platform application contains all predefined functionalities. This Pega platform predefined application contains all predefined functionalities. And one specific terminology here, instead of all these, we will be using one terminology called OOTB. What is the terminology? OOTB stands for out of the box. Yesterday document itself has this out of the box. See, out of the box, if I use any time the terminology out of the box, meaning that it is already present with PRPC system. When you purchase PRPC, you get any functionality that is called as out of the box functionality. Understand? Make sense? Everyone clear? So we will be using this terminology. OOTB functionality means that is present inside the system. Predefined functionality, inbuilt functionality, ready-made functionality. Instead of these three, Pega specific terminology is out of the box. Okay. So all the predefined functionalities are OOTB functionalities that are provided by Pega will be there inside Pega platform application. Okay. So I will show you the application here. Look at here. Definition. I'll go to definition of the application. You don't bother about navigations. Just focus on the subject points. See, there are many resources who are connecting online. You are connecting after 8 o'clock. See, being late to the session, you will be the ultimate loser. Okay. I know already subject. I know in and out of Pega, everything. Okay. If I am going to miss one class, all of you will be missing, right? That's not a problem. If I am going to delay class session starting for 15 minutes, all of you will be getting delayed. That's not a problem for you. If you delay, it is the only one who will be affected is you. I'll not wait for you. Okay. I'll not be waiting for individuals anytime. Even one person is there on time in this class, I'll start my session for sure. But if you are going to miss first 5 minutes, going forward, you will realize that obviously automatically you'll attend at 8 o'clock. I'll make you to attend for sure. First 5 minutes class, if you are missing, that means you do not understand entire next 55 minutes. Okay. Even you are sitting in the class, previous class also attend, still you will not be able to follow. Keep this in mind. The first priority for anyone to have discipline is punctuality. Okay. చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి ఇని చిరాకు వచ్చి ఉంటుంది మీకు, అవునా? అయినా మనం ఫాలో అవ్వం, ఎందుకంటే మనకు దాని వాల్యూ తెలియదు కాబట్టి. ఓకే, అందరూ కాదు, నాలాంటి వాళ్ళు. ఓకే, సో దిస్ అప్లికేషన్, when I open the definition, you see here ID, Pega rules. There is an ID, right? See, for every component in Pega, there will be two things. One is label and the second one is ID. I'll tell you a simple example. All the students are there in a class. All the students will be identified by their ID. There will be student ID, right? Apart from student ID, are you going to have a name? Your name is your label. That is what you are being labeled by your name. And ID is the one which is a unique identification of yourself in a system, not in the outside society. Okay. You are there in a system, right? Let's say college. You are there in a system called college. Within the college system, every student will have a name. But college system cannot understand if you tell the student name. It cannot recognize. Uniquely, if it has to recognize each individual, what do we need? Student ID. Similarly, if you are an employee in an organization, can an organization identify, can the organization or anyone in the organization, can they identify you by your name simply? No. Only very few set of people they can recognize you, whomever you are closely working with. But as a whole system, it has to recognize you uniquely, right? By employee ID. So this PRPC system is going to recognize each individual functional component by ID, and this is just for display purpose. Label is just for what? Display purpose. Okay, you will come across with two different things called label and ID. Label is just display purpose to make it a meaningful description, and ID is the one which will be recognized by system. Just another example is, you want to there is a bank branch, Madhapur branch is there. A banking system cannot recognize if you say Madhapur branch. A banking system recognizes a bank branch by a code called IFSC code, some code, whatever it can be. Only the code is recognizable one. Then what is this Madhapur branch label? Humans cannot recognize codes. They have to clearly understand, right? Madhapur branch, a meaningful display purpose. But in the back end, in the system, it will always recognize that by IDs. Same concept. Everyone clear? So every component that you come across in Pega will have a label plus ID. As an end user, like a developer or end user, you may bother about labels, but system always takes the ID value. Okay. Application, I told you Pega platform, right? But what is the actual name? They have given it like Pega. Don't bother about 8. That is meaning that 8 version. Okay, leave it the version number. What is the application? Pega. Pega rules is the application which is displayed by a name called Pega platform to make it clear to people. And this will contain, this is going to contain all the predefined functionalities provided by Pega. Okay. So all the predefined functionalities provided by Pega will be there in which application? Pega platform application or Pega rules application. You can say anything. Now look at here. I am going to draw a diagram. Here you go. And imagine this is Pega platform application. This is what? Pega platform application. Pega platform application. Okay. Now I wanted to utilize the functionalities that are already present inside Pega platform into my own business application. I want to access the functionalities that are there in Pega platform into my own application. Now I am going to create my own application on top of Pega platform. This is my business related framework application. My business related framework application. Make sense, everyone? Clear? I am creating my business related framework. On top of this framework again, I am going to create my n number of implementations. It can be one or more. Now total how many frameworks are there here? IMPL 1, IMPL 2. Total, my question is, listen to me carefully. How many frameworks are there? Again, I will define framework. Framework is the one which contains common functionalities which can be utilized into n number of different implementations. Maybe specific to business or common to n number of different businesses, irrespective of sector and all. How many frameworks are there here? 2 are there. See, this one is OOTB framework. What is this one? Our business framework. 2 frameworks. So which means that in a business application, you can have n number of frameworks. Framework 1, framework 2, framework 3, framework 4, framework 5, n number of frameworks. On a framework, I can have n number of implementations. Everyone clear? Online resources. Who has connected online in the meeting? I am going to unmute now. Respond on the chatting window. 1 or 2 people respond on meeting and other people respond on chatting window. So far clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay.
Clear.
See, Pega platform is a predefined framework application provided by Pega which contains all the OOTB functionalities. On top of Pega platform, I have to create my own framework application. On top of my own framework, again, I'll create my implementation. Now, my implementation can access the functionalities of my framework as well as the implementation can access the functionalities of Pega platform as well, right? Through framework. Framework will access from Pega platform. Implementation will access from framework as well as Pega platform. All that it can access. Make sense, everyone? Clear? And now we are going to see the practical session of how to create framework application and how to create implementation application. Everyone clear? This is what we are going to work on. Write down business requirement. So we are going to create, now we are going to create a framework application for insurance policy processing. Look at here. I'm going to save this document. I'll be saving this document here. 594. Your batch will be 594 batch. New Pega batch 594. The running batches are 91 and 93. 92 is was a fast track and done. Already finished. And this document name also, see here, this is what is today. Pega, you are 8 a.m. right? 8 a.m. Anyhow, 594 is 8 a.m. Pega class, June 07. I think I'll be doing like this, 8 a.m. Okay. This will be the naming convention of the document you will receive every day. So day to day, you will be able to understand, because at one day we may discuss 2 topics. So I cannot give you topic name for the document. Okay. So now creating a new application can be created. So I'll write down the details here. You don't need to note down. You need to write down only business. Unless I tell you note down, you don't need to write anything. Okay. A new application can be, but you have to see here and observe and understand whatever the knowledge that we are delivering. Try to grasp it and remember. A new application can be created by running new application wizard. Okay. So let me write down the steps of algorithm. Okay, first step is, so log into PRPC by using default credentials. That is the first step I am going to do. You know what are the default credentials, or should I write down here? administrator@pega.com, and what is the password? Install. You will be able to understand, right? This is username and this one is password. Sorry. Install. And what is the, okay, I logged in. Now access new application wizard and choose application option. Okay, so navigate forward, providing the details of application. Like, what are the details? You know, name of application, type of application, organization name, operator ID in the email ID format. Means a domain name should be there, but not, it is not mandated to be a valid email ID. Okay. So once that, okay, with this, the steps are done. Okay, we will navigate to show you. So now, once the application is created, it creates below rules. I'll tell you what is the rule. I did not tell you so far technically what is the rule. It will create application, it will create organization, and it will create operator ID, comma, generates a password. Inka, there are so many things that gets created. I'll tell you later. Okay, but high level I am talking about. It will create classes also. Okay, specifically called class group. You don't know about the 4th term. Okay, I'll tell you later. So now let's go ahead with our design. Okay, so this is how, when you are aware of all the steps that you have to proceed to do, given a business requirement, if the steps are there in your mind, then only you should be able to successfully do it. Okay, so let's go ahead with the design now. You know how to log into PRPC, right? What are the credentials? See, if I have given you any business requirement in future to do it by yourself as a homework, before you start working on the business requirement, you have to take a notebook and you have to write the algorithm first. Without writing algorithm, don't start doing practicals. Even while you are practicing, after you understand that algorithm of design, just a high level, at least if you're able to understand, then only you proceed to work on practical. Simply don't focus only on practical and do it. Okay, and install. I'm going to log into PRPC, and here you go. So once you log in by using default credentials, we already discussed, like you will be getting into default Pega platform application, where this is application menu. Okay, so here you go. Now click on application menu on top left. On top left. I'm sorry whether I'm recording or not. I'm not sure. Okay, it is being recorded. Okay, so click on application menu on top left, and this is the application menu. Look at here, everyone. While you are practicing, it will help you if you see now. Okay. And here you go. There is an option called new application. You have to deal with new application. Click on application menu and on top left, then do what? New application option I'm choosing. So here you go. I have chosen new application option, and thereafter what type of application you wanted to build from scratch. See, maybe if you are working with 8.6 version, this is the first time I am accessing 8.7. okay, even I did not create before. If you are working with 8.6 or 8.5, some people have this, right? You will see 3 options. Okay, in that again you will find build from scratch like traditional application UI kit. Okay, I'll write down here, just hold on. Note, I'll give a note for 8.6 or before. Click on traditional UI kit option. 3 options you'll get. Click on traditional UI kit option. Now, so click on build from scratch. Okay, maybe this is the option that I have here given with 8.7. Again, you see 2 options here. Similar to this one you will be getting actually. In 8.6, similar to the second screen what you have got, you will be getting it. See, more or less everything is same. No need to much worry about or bother about it. See, here you have Cosmos traditional application and Cosmos React.js application. We deal with Cosmos traditional application. Click on the first option. While you are practicing with 8.6 or 8.5, there you will find traditional UI kit plus these 2. Means total how many options you'll get? 3. You want to go with traditional UI kit, you go with it. Or you want to go with this option, you can go with this option also. That's up to you. Okay. There won't be much changes at all. Don't worry much about it. Okay. Click on first option. Okay. I'll tell you all these options after some time. I'm selecting this first option. It is just a theme plus a provision of writing JavaScript and all, but that is not required for us. And now it is going to ask you, what is the name of the application that you wanted to give? So I wanted to create an insurance application, right? Let's say, for example, LIC insurance. LIC is life insurance, right? LIC, does it have a vehicle insurance and all? It may have. Home insurance is there, right? Vehicle also should be there. Tell me anything. Okay, should we go with this one itself? Okay, let's go ahead. No issues. Not a big deal. So LIC as an organization look at, but you don't look at it as only life insurance. Okay. And now LIC insurance, this is the name of the application I am giving. See, if you click on create application, you can either click on create application or you can go to advanced configuration. Let me go to advanced configuration. Click on advanced configuration. Okay, once I click on advanced configuration, it brings a pop-up asking you about what is the type of application, means application structure, framework or implementation. But you see, by default, what is the application structure Pega is choosing? Suppose without double clicking on this advanced configuration, if I would have proceeded forward by just clicking on create application, which type of application I would have got? Implementation. But what is the application type I wanted to create now? Framework. In the application structure, choose framework application. At the application structure, choose framework application. I'm going to choose it now. Framework application. I have chosen framework application. Okay, next. See, you see, application name I have given LIC insurance, but ID is coming as LIC INSUR. This is the actual name that system recognizes. I told you, right? Label I have provided. From the label, it is framing the ID and taking the ID. That's it. And now, I don't know, they have got it recently from 8.6. This option was not there before. They have given by default English United States. Maybe you have the facility to choose other options also, like other languages also they are providing it, it seems. Okay, I'll research on this. and organization name. By default, Pega is taking a default random name for the organization. By default, PRPC is choosing a default random name for organization. But let's remove that and write our own organization name, which is meaningful. Everyone clear? I'm going to do this now. So here you go. I'm going to remove this and I'll type manually. What is that? LIC will be the best meaningful name. See, once I tab out this, you see below also you are getting same. This is label. This is ID. Remaining options I am not going to talk about now. In future sessions, I'll tell you remaining options. Click on save. Remaining options I'll talk about it future. So application structure and then name of the organization. Save. Now if I proceed forward by clicking on create application, it will create framework application. Understand? So now click on create application. Click on create application. So I'm going to click on create application now. So once I click on create application, see here, application is created now. Application has got created. But let's add an operator ID. There is something different than previous versions of Pega. Here we used to get cost administrator operator ID as a developer, but now they are giving only author. This is also developer only, but after creation, you have to follow one blind step of getting developer portal. I'll tell you later. And anyhow, see here, it is asking you to add some operator IDs in order to log into this application where it is in the email ID format. Email need not to exist. I want to create a developer operator, right? So developer, it is my framework application, right? For framework application, dev fw @ my application is lic.com. It is not mandatory. This ID should be existing in the real world. Just click on add. I'm going to click on add. See, don't be hurry while practicing this one, because you have to copy this user ID and password generated. You cannot remember this. Copy user ID and password somewhere you copy it. Okay, I'll place it here and also I'll place it in the document. When you are practicing, you might be getting some different password generated. And once this is done, so click on done. So click on done. So my framework application is been created. I can log into my framework application. That is okay, but I log in after some time. Okay, first let me finish creating implementation application on top of the framework which I have created just now. See, you remember I have chosen the option of build from scratch. Okay, I'll just make a note here. Note, as we have chosen the option, what is that? Build from scratch. The above framework application, the above FW application would have been created. Okay, not would have been, will get created on top of OOTV application. What is the name of the application? Pega. My application has got created, okay, on top of Pega platform. Now, when I log into my framework application, I'll be able to access my framework application as well as Pega platform features. So, by login to framework application, we can access Pega. We can access FW application features plus Pega platform application features. Both I can access. Done. Make sense? Write down second requirement. Create a new implementation application. Everyone write down, create a new implementation application. Create a new implementation application. Auto insurance. Which should be created on top of above FW application. See, you don't need to log off and log in back to framework. You best stay on with default credentials always. Understand? Always stay on with default credentials and do everything. Application creation wise, remember, always you will be in administrator@pega.com and doing it. You don't need to log into framework and do it. Okay. So now let me do it now. Again, you know all the steps. I'm not going to write everything again. Okay. But here, what are the steps? Log into Pega by using default credentials. Okay. Again, same thing. Default credentials. Again, go through new app wizard. Okay. See, when I create framework application, my organization LIC would have been created. Organization would have been created. See, it is a practice that for implementation application, you don't create a new organization. Use the existing organization. For implementation application, what are you going to do? You are going to use existing organization itself. So here, use the existing organization. What is that? LIC, which was being created. During FW application. For all of the business entities, the topmost entity Tata Group is same, right? We are following the real world. It is possible to have different organization, but that is not a good practice considering my way of design and development. Okay. And use the existing organization LIC, which was being created during, and again, same thing, operator ID, comma, password separately for implementation application. Okay, that also we are going to do. So now let me go ahead with design. After you do all this, it will create application. It won't create organization. It will use existing organization. Operator ID will get created. Classes also will get created. Let's do it now. I'm in the same login. I did not even log off. Okay, if you have observed. And Pega platform, new application. And here you go. Now I am not going to choose build from scratch. I'm not going to choose what? Build from scratch. Instead, what am I going to do? If I click on build from scratch, my application will get created on top of Pega platform. If I click on any other application, my application will get created on top of another application, whichever I am going to click on. I want to create my application on top of LIC application, right? So I will be clicking on LIC insurance. Everyone clear with this point? Click on LIC insurance. LIC insurance. I'm going to click on this. See, now it is asking you a confirmation saying that, do you want to go back and choose a different application to create on top of, or you want to proceed with the same what you have already chosen? So I wanted to build with LIC insurance. So click on, I don't want to go back. Again, I don't want to re-choose. Already I have chosen. So click on build with LIC. Build with LIC. I am going to choose this, build with LIC. See, you did not get this screen, right? Previously, if you remember, while you are practicing with this one, what is it? Framework application. You are not being asked about case types and all. You don't need to bother about what is a case type at this moment. We will be manually adding case types, everything going forward. Just you need to do what? Continue. Just continue. This one. You did not even get this one. Data types. But we will be practically working on all of these going forward. Continue. Just simply continue these two screens. You are aware of this particular screen. Application name. This is LIC Auto Insurance. Make sense? This is only specifically auto. Suppose if I come up with life insurance, that will become another implementation for me. Okay. So advanced configuration. As usual steps. One time if you practice, second time it should be easy. Advanced configuration. Now by default, I got the application structure to be implemented. Is that what I am expecting for now? So don't need to change. You don't need to change it. Remaining options also everything as expected except organization name. Remove the default organization name. Remove the random org name. Choose LIC. I'm not going to type. I'm going to choose. Look at here. See, on PRPC environment, if you see any text box like this with a thick blue color dot at the right bottom corner, it is drop down. It is what? Drop down. To populate the values, place your cursor here and then click the down arrow on your keyboard. Okay. If after clicking on down arrow, if you're not seeing something, change the browser. Maybe you are using Firefox or Chrome or any other. Just change the browser. Simply. Sometimes you will face little bit of HTML issues. Did I close everything? No. HTML issues with PRPC environment. The only solution is try in a different browser. It will work out. Okay, mostly. And click the down arrow. You see now LIC is there. I am not going to give any new organization. I'm trying to choose the existing one that is already available. How to stop all this? Save. Remaining options I did not even bother as of now. I'll tell you later. Now click on create application. Click on do what? Create application. I'm going to click on create application. Again, same thing. See, for implementation, I am dealing with implementation application. Developer operator, implementation application @lic.com. Total 2 IDs. Previously 1 ID for the framework and this time. Click on add. See, we repeated the same practice again and again. Copy the credentials. I'll copy it because it is possible that I forget these credentials. So click on done. Completed. So our task with this one is completed. Now log off. I'm going to do what? Log off. Log off. You know the log off, right? What should I do now? Now log in to FW application using the credentials. I just copied the credentials for safe side. So while you are practicing, you also make sure you copy it. Okay. I'm taking it from Notepad so that spaces and all will not come. What is the username? devfw@lic.com and password I have given here. Where is it? So let me log in and show you now. See, for the first time when you try to log in, it is asking you to change the password. This is the reason why I have asked you to copy the old password somewhere. Old password, new password. I am giving rules. It is your wish. Whatever you wanted to give, you can give. But make sure you give some password which you remember. Okay. I am going to change the password now. this is how you are getting. See, this is a new change from this version onwards. I mean, like by default, they're creating author operator. Okay, we created author operator. Okay, Pega's intention behind doing this is they want you to do everything from the App Studio. The screen displayed is called App Studio. App Studio. Now, with this we are done. Just understanding. And we will also log into implementation application. No worries. Okay. Similarly, okay, log off here. Otherwise, I'll finish that part. Log off here and log in back. Log into implementation application once. Just for the sake of just to see, login and see. Okay, I am going to log off. But this time, on the left bottom corner here, you have log off like this. I did log off, and this is the login screen. What should I do now? I have saved my credentials somewhere, right? Just you log off and log in and see devimpl@lic.com and password is this one, and click on login. Sorry, where is the document? You don't remember that password usually, right? That's why you need a backup. Okay, don't be so hurry while practicing. Follow each step by step, going through it detail. Okay, change password, and again you got the same screen, right? Done, completed. That's it. You just log in. There is nothing much to bother about. As of now, you get this pop-up or not, this and all is nothing. See, if you click on this top one, you are seeing 3 studios: App Studio, Dev Studio, Prediction Studio. But if you log in as a full developer, full access to developer, you will see one more studio called Admin Studio. You'll see one more studio called Admin. Now I can switch back to Dev Studio, which I am going to deal with actually. I'm going to deal with what? Dev Studio. So I'm going to work on Dev Studio, but I want admin access as well. Means full access I want as a developer. I want to deal with even administrator operator also. For that we can create administrator operator maybe after some time. As of now, you don't know how to create operators and all. You may create later. See, this is Dev Studio. I will explain you about all the studios. We have only 5 minutes, right? Tomorrow I'll take it. Okay, because today if I tell you, it will become so much. See, going forward, your session will continue till 9:15, right? You are aware of it, right? 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, regular classes and all. Last 15 minutes, we will be revising the same session. Okay, and now let me revise. What did we do today from the beginning? So at the very beginning, we have revised yesterday's session for 5 minutes. And later on, we have just seen how to create framework application and how to create implementation application. In between, we understood about what is an organization and what is an operator ID, just functional point of view. Organization is the topmost business entity in any business. Example I told you. Suppose you take a company called Alphabet. Alphabet is the organization under which you have a number of implementation, right? You have Google, you have YouTube, you have many other companies. YouTube is, let's say, one separate entity, and Google is one separate entity. All this comes under which company? Alphabet, right? So that is the main organization. Under that, sub entities are there. I will tell you about organization structure after some time. Okay. And now, after discussing about organization as a topmost entity in any business, I told you about operator ID, just a functional point of view. Operator ID is the login ID which we use in order to log into PRPC to access its applications. And the another term is operator. Operator is the person who log into PRPC to access its application. That person is going to be having one ID to log in. Okay. And moreover, creating framework application and creating implementation application. See, either you are creating framework application or implementation application, ultimately you are creating an application. That's it. At the time of creating new, in order to create a new application, Pega provides a wizard. What is the name of the wizard? New application. Name of the wizard itself is new application wizard. While using this wizard, you need to deal with multiple parameters. First one is, what is the first one? Application name. And the second one is type of application. And third one is name of the organization. Fourth one is operator ID and password. For that, it will get generated password usually. Okay. And see here, at the time of creating application, you have an option of build from scratch. Beside that, there can be another application names. See, the term build from scratch, they may change it to some other meaningful name like Pega platform. Actually, they can change it. Otherwise, they would have given build from scratch. Below that, again, they should have given Pega platform. Within the same box, build from scratch, one line, and below the line, they can give Pega platform. It makes better sense actually. Anyhow, so at the time of creating application, you will get an option of displaying the application names. Out of the application names, you'll see one name called build from scratch. If you click on build from scratch while creating application, your application will get created on top of Pega platform. Your application will get created on top of Pega platform. Make sense? And thereafter, you proceed forward. You click on advanced configuration to choose the type of application. By default, always Pega chooses the application type to be implementation. We changed it to framework. We proceeded forward, completed. Next, we created implementation application. We proceeded forward and completed. But at the time of creating implementation application, we have chosen the existing organization which was being created at the time of creating framework application. While creating framework application, we have manually entered the organization name. But at the time of creating implementation application, I have chosen already the organization which is being created. The point here is, I don't want too many organizations. For all framework as well as n number of implementations that I am going to have, I want same organization to be utilized. That is the point of view. In that point of view, I have used only one organization. Make sense, everyone? Clear? So this is what overall we have created application and we have logged in and we have seen. Okay. And different studios or windows that are available, I'll explain you tomorrow. Okay. Even I have to tell you about organization structure, classes, inheritance, all these concepts I have to explain, which we'll come across going forward. Okay. So that's it for today. Overall, what we have done. And now, anyone has any questions, online or offline? Anyone has any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
We have the when we choose the applications, we have the two options, that the Cosmos and the traditional. Please, can you explain about the details?
See,
about
I can explain you about all anything if I am going to leave for now. I did not explain about division and unit, right? That you will be learning maybe tomorrow or after that. Okay, whenever it comes. Like while we are practicing so many things, I will not explain you everything about one rule on the same day. Okay, maybe I'll be taking part of the rule, like 50% today. If I take remaining 50%, I may take after 20 days also. Okay, it depends. And when we come across the situation, I'll explain you, because you'll not be able to understand some of the options even if I explain now. Okay. See, Cosmos traditional and Cosmos React.js. See, Cosmos React is something where you are going to write your own coding for React, but Pega will generate that code. This is a new development that Pega has come up starting from, I believe, around Pega 8 version onwards, or maybe 7.6, something like that. But the point is, they're working on something called DX API, meaning that Pega user interface can be embedded to be accessible into other .NET applications, Java applications, like that. Okay. You need to supply the UI which you created, HTML coding of UI which you created here, dynamically at runtime to other people, other applications. Other application will access and display there. You submit the data there, it will be submitted in Pega application. This is called web mashup concept. Okay. In this process, they are coming with the concept of DX API, where they will be using some REST APIs which will transfer HTML converted into JSON. JSON will be sent across. They will again send a JSON response that will be converted into HTML that will be displayed here. So overall, this process we don't need to learn now. Okay, that is not required for us. So in that process, some of the things you may have to write by yourself. But Pega is going to come up as a fully automated development even for this. Going forward in future, they have done up to 50% as of now. Okay, it will take years to implement some of things like this. So as of now, we don't need to bother about these features of DX API, React and all. And Cosmos Traditional is a template where you have a traditional template where you can write your JavaScript coding or some additional user interface features will be there. Okay, but you don't need to bother about all this stuff as of now. You start learning Pega as a Pega developer, understanding PRPC's design as well as understanding the reusability of OOTB features and creating your own application components. Okay, without the need of writing any coding. Next, any other questions or doubts?
Yeah, one question.
Hey,
One by one, please.
Yeah. Let me go over. Okay, so the topics that we miss out, right? Meaning when you say we are going to cover it later, can we have
Yes.
that to be documented in a spreadsheet or a document, a Word
There are
document,
so
so
many
that
documents available. I will share you all theory documents. No worries.
no, I'm not talking about the documents. I mean the topics that we are going to cover it later.
I think we have shared you course content, right?
No.
Every one of you,
Harsha,
did you receive course content? We will send it again once again today. If you look at the course content also, you will see activities at one place and below somewhere at the bottom continuation of activity, report definition basic at one place, below somewhere at the bottom continuation of report definition. You will see like that. I'll not write even the course content also, only report definition at one place I'll not write. The way how we are proceeding here with the development, same way it was written, the course content. I'll share you once again today.
Right. I mean, Harsha, I do understand it. I get that. So my point is here, right? So when we talk about, let's say examples, the unit, all this, right? The versions. So you say you're going to cover it later. Yes, I do agree we are going to cover it later. So my point is just we can document this and then, I mean, put it in somewhere. Let's say when we cover it, we can scratch that out, which we can say that, yeah, it is covered. So to get the, remembrance of the topic that we are going to cover it later in the next
So you can do
class,
this. Okay? Whenever I say this will be covered letter, you just make a note of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Every one of you.
Okay.
Just you make a note of it. It will be covered at certain point in time. If not covered, let me know. Okay. You can make a note of it. That's not a big deal.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions anyone else has?
Yeah, I have one question. Like for example, when we are creating an operator ID for one framework, and now I'm creating some applications on top of this framework.
Yes.
So the operator ID that I created for this framework, can
Yes.
I
Can
access
you
all
use
the
the single
application
operator ID for both implementation framework as well? Is that what your question?
Yes, all the application that I'm building on
It
top
is
of this
possible.
framework.
See, one person can have access to multiple applications with same ID. That is possible. Okay. I created two IDs, right? One is for framework, one is for implementation. You are a basic learner, that's why we created two different. In future, while discussing about access groups, all this, you will be able to understand how we can give access to multiple applications to one ID. And where, while you log in, by default, will be displayed with primary application. Secondary applications will be accessible to you by switch application option. Okay, that and all will come across. Okay, you can have one operator ID, 10 applications, 100 applications also possible.
Okay, that answered my question. Thank you.
Okay, and we will continue tomorrow. See, till Wednesday, I told you, right? You will be receiving everything on WhatsApp only. Forward from there to your email and open. Yesterday's video, like first 4 days, 5 days, I'll make it directly available in YouTube. But later on, I'll give access to the drive where you will see only the video you can see. Okay, you cannot do anything like download and all, you cannot do. And now today also I'll send you this theory document and practical document in the same WhatsApp broadcast. For the first 3 days it will get delayed. You will receive maybe after 1 hour. Once after I finish the next session for another batch that is already running in the middle or ending, after that session only I should be able to send it. But once we are set up with our group and everything, email group and everything, you will be receiving the documentation, everything within next 1 minute. The moment we finish the class, while we are discussing like this recap, while recap is going on, I'll be sending you documents on your email. You will receive theory document, this practical document screenshot by screenshot you will receive. video and all, we have to convert the video, download the video, upload the video, and give access, right? It will take time. You will be receiving the video by afternoon. It will take time. The video part will take some time. You will be receiving by afternoon. Okay. And the meeting link which you are using, this is same. This is same for tomorrow also. It is same. Thursday it will change. From Thursday onwards, if you are not joining the batch, you will not be able to join the meeting. Understand? So for tomorrow also, you don't need to type every day what is the meeting link and all online resources. Meeting link will be same even for tomorrow. And many of you have already paid the fees and we have added into group. At the time of sending the payment screenshot, you make sure that it should have a transaction reference number plus you mention you are for classroom or online clearly so that we can add you into appropriate group. Understand? After these 2 groups are done, I'll create 4 different groups again. I'll just divide all of you into IT employed, US and other countries, non-IT, employed and unemployed resources, and freshers separately. Okay. Always your communication will go on in your respective group. These 2 primary groups of classroom and online will be locked. Only admins can send messages as updates from me. Okay, understand? This is the process you are going to come across. Anyone who has made the fees payments, maybe yesterday night, you might not have been added by this time into the group. My team will review and add you in some time. And all of you finish your fees payments at any cost by today, most probably. Okay. So there won't be any extensions further will not be given usually. So anyhow, you have to pay
Sir,
today or tomorrow. Better you do it at the earliest. Yes, please.
Sir, I have. Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, how many installments in fees, sir?
There is no installment process. Okay.
Just
if you have
only
a
one.
credit card, in our website, we have EMI option. You can choose it to be 12 EMIs, which will be very easy for domestic purpose. I mean, like international, you cannot choose EMI. Domestic, anyone within India, you have a credit card, you have EMI option. You can put their EMI option and you can proceed. There is no installment process at all. For many reasons, we don't have this. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we will continue tomorrow. I will be sharing these documents after 1 hour and video will be made available after afternoon, during afternoon. But starting from Thursday morning onwards, you will receive everything. I mean, like the documentation part, theory plus practical, just within a minute. By 9 o'clock, 5 minutes, you will receive it. Okay, on your email. I'll collect your email IDs later. Many people who are sending screenshot, they are also giving email ID. You don't give your email ID. We don't take it from your WhatsApp conversation. We'll take it from somewhere else. I'll request you later. Thank you. You can wind up for today.